Hello, this is Jen Mitchell-Love from Solace Divorce Mediation. And today I just did a quick chat GPT search to see what are the 5 most common questions that people ask online when it comes to divorce. So today, in the next 4 days, I'm going to be talking about the top 5. And coming in at number 1 is, how much does a divorce cost? So I wanted to do a live for you to share, how much does a divorce cost? And of course, the question, is very important because the cost of a divorce is something, that deeply impacts you. The issue with the question is that the answer is that it depends. It depends how you do it. If you choose to litigate your divorce, then now you're in a system that I think is just fundamentally broken. You have the litigation system is where you each hire an attorney, and the attorney is your zealous advocate arguing for you. And of course, in that space, I say of course because I was a litigation attorney for the first 9 years of my 20-year career as a family law attorney and mediator. And in those first 9 years, I learned very, very quickly that there was not a lot of motivation for attorneys to resolve the case, to work together to resolve all the issues in the case. So how much does a litigated divorce cost? That is totally unknown and uncertain. I would say on average, 10,000 each would be a nice low estimate. I have a friend who I just spent the last week with. Her boyfriend has been going through a divorce for 4 years in the litigation system, and he has spent over $200,000, just his side. So his soon-to-be ex-wife has probably spent a similar amount. So yeah, how much does that cost? Who knows? It can range, and it's very expensive. You're billed in 6-minute increments when you are in the family law court system by your attorney, and you have zero control. You're at the whim of your attorney filing motions. You have to respond to your opposing counsel filing motions, and you really have zero control over how much it costs. But I'd say 10K is a nice, easy, low end of how much it would cost in that space. Now, if you mediate your divorce, which is the space that I occupy at Solace Divorce Mediation, well, now we have managed expectations. So I don't know what other mediation practices charge. Every practice is different. There isn't like a standard. And I do know that a lot of other mediation practices, you pay for the mediation journey, and then you need to take your final memorandum of understanding, which is the document that your mediator will draft for you that captures all of your conversations, all of your agreements. When it is the final memorandum, you're going to sign off on it. And then you typically have to take it to an attorney to have all the legal documents drafted and e-filed with the court, get you scheduled for any court appearances that you need to make in order to enter those legal documents that are drafted. And so all of that can be expensive. At Solace, which is the space that I occupy, we offer flat fees. And so the flat fees are based off of number of mediation sessions for a divorce with minor children. Most commonly, we can reach all agreements, have all the conversations that we need to have pursuant to the governing law, reach all of our agreements in 2 mediation sessions. If it is a divorce without children, we can do it in 1 session. And with both the divorce with minor children, divorce without minor children, if there is a lot of marital property inventory or a lot of disagreement about the financial aspects of the journey, we may need another mediation session. At Solace, I utilize flat fees because I want to manage your expectations of cost. I don't want it to be ballooning out of control, and I want you to be able to know what the whole journey from start to finish, mediation process and legal process, will cost you. And the Solace journey also, it's not just the mediation sessions. The flat fees are based on number of mediation sessions. However, at Solace, we have an onboarding Zoom, which is not counted as a mediation session. That's an hour-long space to make sure that you know what work we need to do together, make sure you have access to our financial disclosure software, our internal software that has the Solace Client Legal Handbook and Emotional Handbook and 76-page workbook. And then we also do one-on-ones. So I meet with my clients one-on-one before we meet for the mediation session, because I want to make sure that you are very well prepared for that mediation session, since the flat fees are based off of number of mediation sessions. So the cost of divorce litigation, totally unknown. Totally unknown. You are really at the mercy of your attorney, of your spouse's attorney, of the diligence of your judge to move things along, and you have zero control over the fees. Mediation, it's significantly less expensive. We also have collaborative practice, which is another way that you can go through your divorce. And I am a collaboratively trained attorney. I practiced in that space for 2 years of my career back when I was a litigation attorney. And I found that it took just as long as a litigation case, and it also oftentimes costs just as much as a litigation case, because you have attorneys who are still acting in the capacity of zealous advocate, and there's very little motivation to work together, and you don't have a judge telling you what you need to do, and so it can drag out. And then the final space or venue, way that you can go through divorce is do it yourself. The cost there, of course, you're going to have the cost of the filing fees, which you'll have for litigation, mediation, collaborative, and do it yourself. And, other than that, you're not going to have any fees when you do it yourself. However, you could think about the cost to your health and well-being and stress levels, because they make it really, really difficult for people to be able to go through a divorce on their own. So out of the 4, litigation, mediation, collaborative, and do it yourself, 4 ways to get a divorce, mediation by far, hands down, is the most cost effective. It is the most streamlined. It is the most mindful. It is the space where you get to step into the space of being the best authorities to decide what is in the best interest of your children. Also, the best authorities to decide what is fair and equitable for the money stuff. And you're doing it while you're being guided by an expert in the area, hopefully an expert at Solace, 20 years of experience as a family law attorney, mediator, and coach. And yeah, I guide you through all the conversations that you need to have. I help you reach the agreements that feel good to you. And I help you shift into a space of relationship that feels good for both of you, and for, if you have kids, for your forever co-parenting family, and for all of those that you love. So yeah, that is the top asked question in Google searches about divorce. What is the cost? And so hopefully this video helped. I offer free consultations. You can go to solacedivorce.com and schedule there, and I look forward to connecting with you. I am sending you so much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Mwah. Bye.